Low. I'm not going to argue with you, in any case, it's just that I don't have any women in my house. After the words, Su Fan carried the things, hot and fast running upward, leaving the old man alone in the wind messy. The moment he took out the key and opened the door, his entire body was completely dumbfounded on the spot. Su Fan, only to see the living room floor. All corners are piled up with lollipops. The house was surrounded by 3 layers of lollipops. Without waiting for Su Fan to open his mouth, Tang Yanling's slightly calmer voice came out. This seat has been waiting for you for a long time. The corners of Su Fan's mouth twitched madly a few times, and after putting down the things in his hands, he used his hands to peel open a passage with unusual difficulty. Big sister, what the hell are you trying to pull? Where did all these lollipops come from? He was practically crying and laughing at the moment. This woman had gotten back so many lollipops. Were they really that good? You mean this thing is called a lollipop? Nice. Good name. Tang Yanling sniffed and was unusually excited, very satisfied with this dessert that she liked. Su Fan, who had been left out to the side, asked again. So, where the hell did you get all this stuff? He tried his best to suppress his emotions, not because he was afraid of the other party's cultivation, but who let the other party be a girl? One has to remain a gentleman, right? Just now, this seat found this item within your storage magic treasure, and after tasting it, I found that it was quite good, and there was no extra within your magic treasure. So this seat used its divine sense to probe the surrounding area, and actually found that there were quite a few more, so I got them all back. Tang Yanling said slowly and indifferently, as if this matter was as commonplace for her. The truth is also true, to know that in the world of the gods, she is 1,000 people. What she wants is what she wants. If anyone dares to oppose, I'm afraid that even the screams cannot be sent out. Suddenly, Su Fan seemed to understand something. The convenience stores in the neighborhood, big and small, I'm afraid they were all ransacked by her, right? He coughed and cleared his throat. That Smoky Ling, I think I should teach you another lesson. Chapter 13, An Earthly Excursion. Chapter 13, Earthly Wanderings. Tang Yanling sniffed and looked at him with an odd face, unable to figure out why the other party suddenly called himself this way. It's weirdly disgusting, isn't it? She then said in a faint voice, no need. The laws of this realm have been memorized by this seat, and these things are just a matter of making some small spells, and did not go there in real body, and will not leave any traces. Seeing that this female devil refuted herself and knew that she was wrong, Su Fan decided to scare the other party. That being said, no one can guarantee that the Supreme can't probe, can they? What realm is he in that he can be known to you? Tang Yanling heard about the degree of power, so she didn't be stubborn anymore. She originally didn't want to cast spells indiscriminately, but who let this thing called lollipop? How delicious it is. Su Fan now felt annoyed at the bottom of his heart. This woman stayed by his side. I'm afraid she wouldn't have a good day. So many convenience stores in the neighborhood have lost things at the same time. And even though the number isn't that much, Nija might still call the police, and just hope that they don't get caught. In later years, the story of multiple families losing their lollipops on almost the same day was told to each other and gradually grew into a legend. In the years that community organized themselves into a candy committee and made this day a day to honor the candy saint. So many lollipops, eat you to death, eat you full of cavities. Su Fan looked at a room full of lollipops and was speechless. Although the other party would definitely not grow cavities, he just wanted to dislike them. Suddenly, a cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and he wondered if he had become bold today, and actually dared to talk to the female demon like this. Steady, you must be steady, you mustn't drift. Since these lollipops have been brought over, I'm afraid it would be easier to reveal them if I put them back now, so keep them to yourself. The amount that filled the room, no matter how the woman ate it, it would be years of eating, right? Tang Yanling sniffed, pouted her lips slightly, and put away all the lollipops within the house into the storage space. Looking at the whitened house, Su Fan finally exhaled a long breath. It was already completely dark, and the street lights came on one after another, adding a few rays of warmth to the city. Inside a rented house, a few simple plates of small dishes were brought to the table. Skinny egg and pineapple soup, kung pao chicken, gazpacho and more. Su Fan walked out of the house with 2 bowls of rice and looked at Tang Yanling, who was still licking the lollipop. Tang Yanling, who was still licking the lollipop, did not have the good sense to say, are you going to eat it or not? Tang Yanling didn't reply, didn't even look at him, continuing to eat her lollipop with an indifferent expression, asked her words and ignored people. Now this look is kinda against the grain. High cold temperament beauty, is chewing on a lollipop. The days pass like this day by day. The life of the two together was also very simple. Sufan every day in addition to eating is to sleep, really living the life of a fat boy aspired to when the social animal. He himself was able to visibly notice that his weight was creeping upward at a rate visible to the naked eye. He sleeps until noon during the day, and when he wakes up, he gets up and plays a game, flirting with the demoness from time to time, but he doesn't dare cross the line. But the other party wore a JK uniform, a stepmother's wraparound skirt that made Sufan's single brother of more than 20 years unable to hold back from time to time. As for Tang Yanling, no matter what time of day or night, she was meditating and closing her eyes to regulate her breathing, basically acting like a rock except for the lollipop inside her mouth that allowed her to move around a bit. Just as Sufan was bored and fuming, a clear female voice slowly came from within the room. Hey! Sufan sniffed with a slight sidelong glance and saw Tang Yanling taking small steps and leaning this way. Take me out to see the outside world. Her voice carried an imperious tone, not one of consultation, but rather as if she were ordering someone around. No way. Absolutely not. Don't even think about it. What if you go out there in case the Supreme Being notices? Sufan did not even think about it. Immediately rejected her. At home can make so many moths too. Who knows once out of the still managed to hold. When Tang Yanling saw this, a hint of anger flashed under her eyes, but she didn't snap. Didn't you say that when this sitter puts on these clothes, he can shield himself from probing? Now you are saying that you can't go out. Could it be that you were coaxing me before? Sufan. Of course I'm not lying to you. It's just that the situation is a bit unique right now. What's so special about it? This seat has memorized all the rules you've told me and isn't going to cast spells in front of these humanoids. So what's not to like? Seeing that Sufan was in deep thought, she continued. How about you follow this seat out with me and I won't talk to anyone else? The reason she wanted to go out was to see if she could find a place with abundant aura. Now that her cultivation was less than 1 in 10, restoring her cultivation was the urgent matter of the day. And within this small room, she could barely even detect half of the fluctuations in her aura, which in turn led to her healing speed being very slow. Sufan was dumbfounded by the question and didn't know how to answer. But on second thought, the woman had been here for some old days, and it was time to take her out for a walk and get to know a world that was still relatively new to her at the moment. Sometimes the more you suppress it, the opposite happens. However, when the time comes, she will definitely continue to fool her, saying that the place is very scary, it is a forbidden place or something, and she must not step on it, or that the place hides a supreme power, and that she can be wiped out with a wave of her hand without even a crumb left. In this way, let's see if she still dares to run around in the future. Outside the window has been completely dark down, but the neighborhood at night already seems relatively quiet. Most of the people who live here are some old people. The routine is more stable, so they are resting earlier. But at a time like this, the nightlife is only just beginning for young people. Sufan pulled open the curtains and looked at them for a while. The night market in the city center was also up and running at this time of the year. Maybe how about taking her to the night market first? Making up his mind, he cleared his throat. It's okay to take you out, but you have to listen to me on everything. And you have to make it to within an inch of your life and stay close to me at all times. And don't talk to anyone, don't do anything I haven't given you permission to do, or I won't be able to bail you out. Tang Yanling didn't get angry as she listened to Sufan speak in a motherly manner there, because there were still a few points of truth in what the other party said. Sufan looked at the other party who didn't get stubborn with him and confirmed that the other party should have acquiesced. Originally, there was no big deal about going out, but Sufan had to be a bit more stable. It was really this powder keg, not knowing when it might explode. What you said, this seat agrees. So can we depart now? Chapter 14, it can actually talk? Chapter 14, can it actually talk? Shanghai City in summer is slightly hot and dry, and it is easy to get upset. Now that he had decided to go out, then Sufan intended to change into cooler clothes before departing. Wait a minute, I'm going to go change into a set of clothes. It's too hot to go out in this. Tang Yanling gave him a blank look, but didn't say much. Then, as if she had thought of something, she glanced down at what she was wearing and mentally murmured, could it be that he had to make me wear these strange clothes in the first place just because he was afraid that I would get hot? She helplessly spat again. What kind of cultivation was she? Could she still be afraid of the heat? Not growing a brain either. Or perhaps the heat of this realm is different from the world of gods? Wouldn't it really be an accident if you didn't wear it? After all, everyone here was dressed like this. Thinking of this, for Sufan to force her to wear this body of clothing, it was only now that she was officially compromised. Not long after, Sufan walked out from the bedroom in short sleeves, shorts, and sandals, followed by a wave of his hand. Go! Wait. Are you going to go out wearing just this JK? Sufan froze for a while. This body standard long legs, coupled with knee-length black silk. If you go out, then I'm afraid that the rate of return up to 1000%, right? What's wrong with that? Isn't that what I wear here? Not to mention it's what you had to put on me. Su Fan, he murmured. When did I ever have to ask you to put it on? It wasn't the guide. What are you talking about? Su Fan had an awkward smile on his face. No, didn't say anything. You like to wear it, so wear it. Su Fan didn't have to ask her to change again. No matter what, these were all bought by him. If he forced her to change, I'm afraid that he couldn't avoid another explanation at that time. However, before going out, he still had Tang Yenling put on a duck-tongued hat, as well as a mask. It was really that this woman was unavoidably too beautiful, and if she didn't pull some tricks to cover it up, there would definitely be unnecessary trouble. When Tang Yenling asked, he vigorously swindled her and explained the function of this magic treasure. Tang Yenling will believe, but also did not refuse. After all, compared to go out, these are just small things. Downstairs, the two men stood side by side. With all the old people living in the area, there wasn't much left outside and it seemed empty. However, this also happened to fit Su Fan's mind. After all, Tang Yenling's current outfit was so sexy that if that group of intelligence agencies found out about it, they would inevitably rumor that he was soliciting prostitutes everywhere. When the time comes to enter the relevant departments is small. If it affects the reputation, I'm afraid I can't find my wife. Finding a wife is the only wish of the now single man of over 20 years. Su Fan led Tang Yenling towards the outside of the street. When Tang Yenling realized something, he only saw Su Fan turn back once he took a few steps, followed by looking around again, and his eyes looked panicked. What are you doing? Did you make some enemies? Ahem. That. I was worried about your safety. That's why I acted so cautiously. In response to this inquiry, Su Fan immediately retorted. He would not admit that he was afraid of that group of intelligence officers. Tang Yenling sniffed, so she didn't say anything more, even though she could tell that this kid was just talking nonsense. After walking for about 10 minutes, the two men came to the side of the road across from the rental house. If you want to go to the city, you can still take public transportation during the day, but at night you'll have to drop in, and even the cabs won't come to this out-of-the-way place. This human holy land of yours isn't much better, traveling with such slow mounts. Tang Yenling looked at the small cars zipping down the road and spat disdainfully. With those words, before Su Fan could answer, she was about to offer up her own magic weapon, letting this group of humanoids take a good look at what the true speed and passion was. What grass? Big sister, please don't. Su Fan saw that her delicate hands had already made a move, and in a panic, he immediately shouted to stop. In the middle of the line of sight, a bright and dazzling lightsaber was slowly floating in the air. At the same time, he bobbed his head and scouted around to make sure nothing had been seen before he breathed a long sigh of relief. Tang Yenling looked at the other party's tense appearance and thought of what Su Fan had cautioned her about earlier, so she couldn't help but soften her aura and withdraw her immortal sword. This seat forgot the precautions you spoke with me about. Su Fan helplessly wiped the cold sweat on his forehead, then helplessly said, we've agreed that we can't mess around. You just have to follow me. Don't do anything. Tang Yenling sniffed and bristled. The two waited for about 8 minutes or so before a white drop-top specialized car pulled up in front of them. Su Fan took the lead in opening the car door and sat inside the back row, and only when he turned back did he realize that the woman was actually still standing still, unmoved. What are you doing? Come up here. At this moment, the driver turned his head and asked, Sir, your cell phone's tail number is. Suddenly, before he could finish his words, he was drawn to Tang Yenling's figure, a pair of straight long legs, with JK uniform. Any man cannot withstand such temptation. The mask is still on. Do you want to play a kind of hazy beauty? He murmured in the back of his mind. Youngsters these days are pretty good at this. Tang Yenling looked at Su Fan inside, then agreed. Originally, she had planned to sit in the front row, wanting to observe the human race in this realm, but then she unconsciously remembered Su Fan's words, so she sat in the back row as well and stayed close to him. Closing the car door, Su Fan explained his tail number to the driver. Master, go to the center of the city near Chunghua Avenue. The driver averted his gaze from Tang Yenling's body and gave him a goodbye. Then with a kick of gas, the car rushed out. Young people's things, he did not ask more. After all, who has not been young is not. Think of when he was young. Definitely more than Su Fan Playflowers. Of course, these words weren't spoken, just a mental pang. Can't tell if I'm envious, jealous or hateful. The vehicle had been traveling for about 2 minutes when the car radio made a shrill noise. Dear listeners, now urgently insert a news. This evening, the city occurred a major explosion accident, resulting in 10 deaths. 20 people were injured, and now are urgently fighting the fire. The following, please listen to the details of the important news. This